welcome back to another episode of Asylum Arms. We are on season 2, episode 1 with ToriProductions. How's your day going, Tori?
Well, I'm not dead yet.
No
I'm
audio. That's great. Okay. Off to a great start. Don't worry. Oh, that's why there's audio.
Professional streamers.
Yeah.
Professional podcasts.
Professional
Oh,
content creators.
All right, welcome back to season 2, episode 1 of Asylum Arms. Today we have ToriProductions on. I swear to God, boys, you say we're muted again, I'm gonna.
Did you say? Does the title say episode 1, session 2?
I think it does, but I don't care enough to fix autocorrect.
I just want to make sure that I'm not seeing things.
I don't care enough to fix autocorrect, so there's that. Hawkeye's audio good or pool? One of you guys before I actually start this episode.
Okay, it's hard to hear. Everyone else is okay. Well, I'm not turning my mic up anymore because it already is up.
You're
As
maxed
far as
out.
it goes.
I can't turn K up any higher.
I'm like maxed out on the my mixer.
I'll lower my volume, but yeah, I can't turn K up any higher. He's already maxed.
Have the guest talk. Say things.
Things and people. Chaos.
Well, he did say things.
Hawkeye, have the guest talk.
I like taking long walks on the beach.
It's a fair thing to do.
I like having sand up my booty cheeks. No, I'm just kidding.
The ToriProductions, would you mind telling us what you did in your time in the military?
Oh, okay. So first things first, just call me Tori. I feel like when you call me ToriProductions, it's my full government name, and we've passed that point.
Did I call you ToriProductions?
Yeah, you said ToriProductions. Just call
Yeah,
me
you
Tori.
keep
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do
Call
that.
me
I
Tori,
meant to
brother. We're all
say-
friends here.
I meant to say Tori.
Call me Tori, brother. I did almost 13 years as an F-16 crew chief, 2 Alpha 373. I got in around 2010, and then I got medically retired around the latter end of 2022. That was a whole debacle. Did 9 years at Shaw, did a year at Kunsan, and then finished up the rest of my time in Aviano Air Base in Italy.
I have a buddy in Aviano.
Oh boy, I feel sorry for him.
This was a long time ago. This was
That's
many years ago.
probably better then. And I've got stories upon stories. But been to Afghanistan, been to Kuwait, been to Jordan twice, been to literally all over the damn world and all over the US. Vegas was like a second home. But yeah, I mean, almost 13 years surviving as a crew chief, got all the way up to tech sergeant. Before the military did military things. So, and then just been chilling out on my 100% VA since I've been med-ported. I now do this.
Yeah.
Got a buddy of mine back in the 90s. He had come from I was stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base, and he came from Aviano. And he was telling me, man, he's like, I used to ride my bikes on the Alps all the time and have fun and all the fun he had.
The country's beautiful.
Fuck you.
Unfortunately, when I was there right at the start of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
Super fun.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to be nice here.
Keyword trying.
I'm trying to be nice before I just go full tilt scorched earth here. All right, I'm trying.
You don't have to be see. I'm never done that.
It's true.
All right.
Most of us are assholes there, so.
I have a very jaded view of the military at this point, specifically the Air Force. So it's
Fair.
Rex has only had one conversation because of something I said.
Well, say the word. That's all
Partners.
you need to do.
I'm not allowed to say that word anymore on
Sponsorship
podcast.
yell at us.
all I'll say is Bohica. If anybody's in the military, you understand what Bohica means.
Yeah, I got shafted from the Air Force too.
Yeah, they took my tech stripe after they failed to diagnose my TBI symptoms back in 2015 when I first said about it. They waited till 2021 to tell me I was right.
So they
well,
booted.
well, hang on. They waited till 2021 for the mental health team that was full of civilians to tell me that I was right, and then they sent me to the Army because that was per their protocol. And then the major, go figure, at the Army clinic in Spangdahlem, the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me I was just stressed. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I wasn't aware stress could affect your balance, affect your vision, affect your memory, affect the numbness in your arms, affect the constant migraines. Stress could do all of that? Wow.
That's a pretty fucked stress you had, man.
Straight back.
I mean, fuck me, right? So then they sent me back, and my fucking, this is why I love civilians. Civilians that give a shit, right? Civilians that give a shit about their patients. My psychologist and my psychiatrist team together, they looked at that shit and they go, yeah, fuck the Army. We're going to word this to where when you get mudboarded, it's a TBI. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And 100% VA. I had
Yeah,
it before I ever left.
I had to go and get a community care therapist because the VA therapist was every time I would run out of appointments, it would be 3 months until I got another one.
Sounds accurate. Yeah, I'm trying to med board through the VA because they give you that option. A lot of veterans don't know this, or a lot of active duty folk don't know this. When you're getting med boarded, you get the option of either doing the VA process while you're in the service. You just got to suck it up and do your service time while you're doing the VA stuff. Or you could do what most people think they're required to do and wait till you get out of the military to try to do the VA stuff. You're shafting yourself when you take the latter option because you could still get a paycheck from the military while you're doing all of your VA stuff. And a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people don't understand that. While you're going to all your bills or, going to all your appointments and doing all this stuff and the other. And you can get all that done, collect that paycheck. And then once you get the results back, they say, hey, yep, this is your results. For me, it was 100% VA. Go talk to your counselor at medical. And they say, okay, you got the option. You can either take the 70% from the military, or you can take the 100% from the VA. What you going to be? I think I'll take the 100%. I think I'll take the 100%, right? Yeah. They go, okay, you get 100%. Military will pay you until your VA check comes in. And then once the VA check comes in, military stops paying you. See ya.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that because they just assume that they're in such a hurry. And I get it. It sucks, right? But they're in such a hurry to get out that they start doing they start rushing to get everything done. And then when they get out, they're like, oh, fuck, I don't have a paycheck. Now I have to do everything with the VA. And then it takes even longer.
Yeah.
Because the VA makes you a priority while you're in service. You don't get that priority status once you leave.
No, when I was getting out, we didn't have near the amount of help that they do now with active duty veterans getting out and stuff like that right now. When I got out, they were just like, the only reason I even went to the VA is because the guy that was in my dorm, was in the barracks, he was doing all my checks and balances to make sure I had all my shit in my room and everything. And he was like, when you get out, go to the VA. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, go to the VA because make sure you get your VA started as soon as you get out. He says, if you don't do it now, it'll be forever before you can get it done. He's the only one that said he wasn't even in my flight. He was my supervisor. He wasn't nobody to me. And he was just like some tech sergeant. He was like, yeah, go to the VA as soon as you get out. So he's like, you go from here to the VA, not in between.
Yeah, I 100% kept in contact with the medical person, and I told them what was going on. And my mental health therapist, God bless them, they were like, no, you need to get the VA stuff started now. We're going to keep seeing you until, it's time for you to leave, all this stuff. They were all getting me through the VA process because my wonderful Afiano commander at the time and his lackadaisical first sergeant at the time made it abundantly clear that anybody could come up with any false accusations and start shit, and they wouldn't do anything other than just prosecute the guy they were accusing to the fullest extent that they could. Just to make fucking examples out of people. Because Aviano had gotten this reputation of we just let shit slide. So Yeah. I went up to them and was like, this is bullshit. And they're like, well, tough. This is what we're doing.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how I lost my tech stripe. Fucking love it. When you hold that part where you hold airmen accountable for shit fucking standards, right? Because
Yeah.
when you're at phase and you're working aircraft, right, and you tell an airman who's supposed to be, just got promoted fucking below the zone, BTZ, testing for staff, sitting there outside the HAS unit on her fucking phone, and there's an airman in there, no fucking HAS gear, no gloves on, no apron, nothing. And a master sergeant from quality assurance walks by and sees it, and she's just sitting on her phone, not giving a fuck. And I go walk up to her and I'm like, hey, you just made senior airman. You're letting this kid fucking bite the bullet because you're not paying attention and doing your job. You can lose that if QA fucking catches that shit.
Right.
Yeah. They ran to the fucking commander. And when they did a little DEI fucking report that was unnamed, they said, this dude's being toxic. This dude's undermining authority. This dude's harassing us. And I'm like, excuse me?
I mean, is it really undermining? You're
I'm
just
holding up a standard that was been set.
according to OSI, it's undermining. When I held tech data and I said, because I told a fellow tech sergeant at the time that I was not going to sign off paperwork because I had not done the fucking maintenance, and I wanted to make sure that it was done to the book, right? And he goes, "Well, you're going to sign it off," and I said, "No, the fuck, I'm not." Apparently, that's considered undermining.
making sure something is safe and they're not. Okay.
Yeah. Well, here's what they did. I came in one day and I got my ass ripped for shoddy maintenance on a discrepancy being signed off. And they came to me and was like, what do you know about this? I'm like, I didn't write that. I was off that day. They're like, what do you mean? It's got your name on it. So I went back to the forums and looked. These assholes had written 27 fucking discrepancies in aircraft forms, which are legitimate fucking official documents. They had written up 27 discrepancies using my name and tried to say that I knew what was going on. And I was like, and I went to the fucking flight chief. Like, this is bullshit. Like, this is fucking plagiarism and fucking forgery to the nth degree.
Right.
They didn't give a shit. They're like, well, what do you want them to do about it? And I was like, fucking fix it.
Fucking punishment of some sort.
Like, fucking fix it. Like, I'm not trying to end anybody's career. I'm not that much of an asshole, but fucking hold themselves accountable, please.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be having to answer for shit that I didn't fucking know, much less do. Yeah. Apparently, according to OSI, that's undermining.
Right. Fuck your leadership, apparently.
Aviano was literally a fucking dick riding contest. It was literally a dick riding contest. And the funny part was we had fucking staffs out there fucking just walk out there, act like they were God's greatest gift to mankind, and fucking tell these folks, like, you're going to do this because I said to. And then the kids actually do the research and go in the fucking tech data because they have it on iPads now. And they look and say, well, according to this, we're not supposed to do it like that. Oh, I don't give a shit. You're going to do what I told you to. And then I have to step in and go, no, you're not going to do that. I'm going to go have a chat with him. So I go have a chat with him and he goes, oh, well, okay. I guess that's fine. I was like, oh, so when I come to you, it's no longer a problem. When the kid comes to you trying to fucking show you that you're wrong, there's a problem. Huh. But, I'm undermining authority.
Yep. We didn't have that many problems. Like, when I didn't have that kind of problems when I was in. Whereas, like I said, I was back in the late 90s.
I told you get out in 99?
96 to 99.
96.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in today's society, I want to say it was right, like, the Air Force was still great right before sequestration. As soon as people started downsizing and, there was those massive cuts and people were getting the option to just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Everybody started leaving left and right. What did that leave you with? The people that didn't give a shit, that were just there for a paycheck.
Yep.
So what happens when you start holding those people accountable? Because I am a very firm believer that you should always take pride in the work you do. You should always put 100% effort in. And if you're going to put your name to anything, you put your name to that understanding that you could affect somebody's life. That pilot's life's in your hands. You don't put something in right. You don't fucking install a part right. That pilot could potentially die due to mechanical failure.
Right. Hold the thing because like in the civilian world, it's like, yes, you can hold somebody accountable. They basically get reprimanded or whatever. But in the military, people, like you said, people's lives are on the line. Like I dealt with the B1 parts. And if we gave somebody the wrong part or a broken part that wasn't fixed properly, whatever, you're talking about the whole ass, four crew, a 4-member crew, and just go splat. I mean, in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Well, we were allowed to hold people accountable because I was A1C. I didn't get to make E4 until because my commander was a twat. But even I was in. We had this guy. He was an E1, and the dude was just a piece of shit. Like he fell asleep all the time on duty, and we're running like with the playing games. We were running exercises, and he would fall asleep on 12-hour duty, just fall asleep, not doing anything, get in trouble, fall asleep again, get in trouble again, and just kept doing that shit.
Oh, we had an airman in fucking Korea got caught hotboxing his fucking gas mask in the middle of an exercise. Had a vape, just fucking the entire area just looked like a giant puff cloud. Had his earbuds in, wasn't listening to nothing, didn't hear any radio calls. And like when you're in the exercise in Kunsan, like they close the fucking doors and everything. When the alarms go off, you have to hunker down, have your chem mask on, all that shit.
Right.
This dude's in here fucking thinking it's goddamn Woodstock. QA walks in there along with the flight chiefs to find out what the fuck's going on. It fucking opened up the door. It's like just rolling fucking gas. Just someone fucking sear can shit out of the hot box. Nope, still puffing.
Nope. Of course, mine was back in the day when you still got smoked for doing shit like that. So,
our fucking commander, fun fact, our wonderful fucking group commander in Kunsan at the time, flat out said that all the airmen were stupid.
Jesus.
Said that all the airmen were too stupid to fix aircraft. He made it a case in point. It was like fucking election time. He's like, we're gonna fix all the fuck ups that all the previous years of aircraft maintenance have ever done to these F-16s because we're no longer in fight tonight mode.
That's a statement.
Bear in mind, 3 days before a cross the world TDY. So he goes, all right, all the techs, all the masters QA, you're going to go out there and you're going to find out what's going on with these jets. Yeah, well, fun fact, he broke the entire fucking fleet.
Sounds like fun.
The entire fleet. Bear in mind, we're supposed to have jets ready to go in case somebody up north had a hair up his ass. And no, we just broke the whole fucking fleet. It's all good. Not a big deal, So what did they do? Oh, their fix was let's put the staffs and the techs on fucking mandatory 12-hour shifts until the entire fleet is fixed because the airmen are too fucking stupid. We're going to let them off we're going to let them off for 2 weeks, no 12-hour days. They get their weekends. They'll join you on 12-hour shifts in 2 weeks.
Wow.
But don't worry, guys. We're going to give you burger burns every now and then. And we'll tell you about it 2 hours after the fact.
It's a lot different than when I was in.
Give me 1 second.
Definitely interesting experience.
It's just a lot different from hearing from somebody that's like just recently got out because it's way different than when I was.
Yeah. Just hearing your stories compared to some of the other active duty Air Force, like even when Strabber was on, hearing her stories compared to your stories was such a different thing.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for some of the friends that I got to make along the way. I had some really good peeps that turned out to be badass maintainers and badass people in general. But if there's one thing that I got asked by multiple people, is like, what would you change in the Air Force? I go, the fucking leadership.
Leadership, 100%. That's always been asked, though.
The fucking leadership, because you either get the fucking officers who think they know everything and don't know shit. You get the fucking chiefs who think that because they've been through the ringer in their time that it still has to remain that way, and they get their head up their ass. Then you get the fucking seniors and the masters who are too busy stat chasing for their own EPRs and just fucking everybody else below them. You get a good couple of techs every now and then that fucking actually take care of their people. Then you get the ones that want to suck dick and just brown nose their way up to master. And then you get the crudgy staff sergeants that understand they're getting fucked, but can't do really anything about it. Then you get the entitled airmen. And it's where it was like, at those points, you're like, you get the entitled airmen or you deal with the E4 mafia. And sometimes you deal with the devil, you just go to the E4 mafia. Hey, listen, I know this shit's fucked. I'm trying to hook you up on the back end, all right? So if you can hook me out here and fucking get dipshit to fucking actually do some work, I'd appreciate it. But
So
like,
do you have any advice for someone wanting to go into the military or air?
Don't.
Everybody fucking says it. Almost everybody's like, don't.
The only reason why you should ever join the military is if you legit have no other alternative. Unless you have, see, here's the thing. With my father was a career Air Force guy. Got all the way up to Master Sergeant. It's either Master Sergeant, Senior Master Sergeant. Retired 22 years, 22, 23 years. But he didn't do my line of work. He was a radar operator. He was a 1 Charlie 5 back in the day when they existed. Ended up going to the Philippines for combat training and all that stuff. My mother was Navy until she passed away 2 weeks after I was born. And I'm the reason for that. So I've been military my whole life. Now, the reason why I originally said I was going to go was, patriotism and all that. But the fact of the matter is I was hurting all money. I made a lot of dumb fucking decisions. I burned through an inheritance that I wasn't even supposed to have in the first fucking place from a guy that I barely even knew from my natural mom's side. Money got tight. I joined. I was like, all right, fucking. Figured I'd go in here anyway. I'm going to do my part, get this paycheck, bust my ass, and then I'll be good to go. Nowadays, the military is all about letting people who don't do shit off the hook and having an easy life and burning through the people who go in there and bust their ass and work hard.
Yep.
If you prove to them that you are quote unquote reliable, and they love to use that term reliable, if you prove to them that you're a man of your word, you can go in there and do your job to the best of your ability and that you don't have to rely on people, well, they're going to use and abuse you every single time instead of forcing other people to step up. They're going to cut those people out and they're going to get rid of them because they're not doing anything. They can't use them. And you think those people care? Hell no, they don't give a shit. So at that point, it's weighing on your mental health and on your capacity to do your job, to be able to go in there and know every day you go in, you have the potential of working 12 to 14 hours off the fucking books, mind you, because most commanders say, oh, yeah, you're working 8-hour shifts unless otherwise directed. And then the tech sergeants go, yeah, well, it's otherwise directed because we're telling you you're working a 12 because we need to get this done. When in reality, that aircraft you're fixing ain't got to be done for, guess what, 2 whole fucking months. I know because that happened to me. So it's like, you go in there to bust your ass, you're going to get shit on. You go in there and you be lazy, you'll get shit on at some point, but it won't be anytime soon. You go in there and you just like fake it till you make it. You do a little bit of work here and there. You'll probably be senior master sergeant. It's fucking shitty. Is what it is. And it's not.
It sounds like it's gone backwards from the way that I was in.
It is an absolute fucking nightmare.
When I was in, I can't speak for everybody, but when I was in, I mean, you busted your ass and you got recognized for it. I mean, my immediate NCOs would recognize you for, doing extra work and shit like that, if you busted your ass. Yeah. But I guess now that doesn't do that anymore.
I'll tell you this much. I got denied a medal out of Afghanistan. I was one of maybe 4 senior airmen on my shift that would actually do hard maintenance. I was R-squaring. Y'all know what I mean by R-square? My B1 partner might know what an R-square means. Remove and replace.
I didn't work on them. I worked with the parts themselves.
Okay. Well, remove and replace means R-square. So when I was R-squaring an entire A system hydraulic manifold, the reservoir, the manifold itself, all the piping, while we were getting mortared, and there was a suicide bombing going on across the fucking way in Bagram on the heavy side. Then we went to an actual ground attack. Replaced all that shit. Then I had to do the fucking FLICUS, the flight control systems. Fucking rig that shit, ops check it, all without a staff sergeant. I did all this shit as a senior airman. And my jet, good old 904 from the fucking 79th, because it's a badass, ended up flying 3 to 4 combat sorties in one sitting because it was that fucking reliable. Very rarely did it ever come back code 3. It always came back code 1, empty. And when we say empty, it means Winchester. It would go in with full rockets and bombs and come back with nothing.
Yeah.
Did its job. Well, they decided because they didn't like the way I popped tires, and because of the fact that I, again, as a senior airman, I had a tech sergeant go out there and go tell me, hey, pop tires and then sign them off. I popped tires, sign them. They said pop tires, which means check the tire pressure, and then sign them off later. So I did that. Well, Master Sergeant found out. Came up to me and said, what are you doing? Told him exactly what I did. He's like, who told you to do that? Called out the tech sergeant. Tech sergeant obviously fucking denied any fucking knowledge because, you know, that's what they fucking do. And started a whole fucking war between the crew chiefs and production. That dude got fired of his fucking handling after that deployment because he absolutely fucking sucked at it. And we all hated him because he didn't know what the fuck was going on half the time. But then they denied me my medal because of the fact that I held him fucking accountable. They're like, you should know better. They're like, you should know better. I was like, okay. Did all the work, and they gave it to somebody who sat on his ass and played video games for the majority of the time he was there.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yep. That's the 79th way. But, I mean, that's the way of the fucking military in general, let's be honest. There was a time where I legit got told, because I kept trying to go on every fucking TDY that I could go on. Because I wanted to go everywhere.
Right.
And there was a TDY heading down to Tyndall. And they're like, you need to take a break. You've been on every TDY since you've been here. I was like, but I want to go. Like, I'm working. I want to work. Like, send me so I can do stuff. I'm like, no, we're not going to send you. You need to take a break. Okay. Well, if I need to take a break, can I take leave then? That'll be up to your sister unit. You're about to go over there and work for them. Went to the sister unit. Fucking 77th Gamblers. Get over there. Hey, so they wouldn't let me go on the TDY. They said I need to take a break, so I'd like to take leave. Is that possible? No, you're working 12s instead. Can't make this shit up. I'm like, cool. Where's your people at? Oh, yeah, they're on leave.
That's what the military does.
All right. So what you're telling me is you put all your boys on leave because you knew we were coming over, so you decided to fuck us and give them time. Got it.
Yep.
Cool. Bet.
Basically.
Efficiently inefficient.
After that, I learned real quick just to fucking call shit as it was. I hate to say this, but it's like I had two nicknames in the military. At Shaw, it was called Stone Cold. After, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was called Stone Cold because I was working swing shift. They had me working a late night. It was late night fucking goes. Ended up getting my jet done. Got it all inspected. Got the BPO pre-done. I took a lot of pride. I did a lot of inspecting and whatnot. Cleaned it up and whatever. Go to start pushing my box up to start doing forms. Hadn't even done my forms yet.
Yeah.
It's 12 hours. I'm at my 12-hour mark at this point. Mid-shift had already taken over for swing shift. So I was talking to the mid-shift expediter now. Mid-shift expediter rolls up to me. All had a man named Finucane. Looks at me, rolls his window. Hey, Andrews. Yeah. Did you get that pre-can inspection done? That bird's not going to can. Oh, it's going to can. We just decided it. Well, I wasn't told to me. Yeah, it's going to can. So I need you to do a BPO pre on it and wait for QA to come out. Sir, it's my 12-hour mark. I don't care. Wrong answer. He goes to start trying to drive off. I hopped over the toolbox, opened the driver's side door, and stared at him. And I just looked at him and I was go, 1, I'm not a fucking robot. 2, it's my 12-hour mark. You didn't bother to tell me, and neither did your counterpart, that was going to can. That bitch just came down about an hour and a half ago, and I just finished the fucking inspection. I'm not waiting around for nothing. Y'all should have communicated this shit better. I'm going to go do my forms, and then y'all can figure it the fuck out. Close the door, hop back out of the truck, slam the door on them, and push my box the rest of the way. Next day, I come into work. And they're like, you're going to mid-shift next week. It's like, all right, who's my boss? Finucane. So I go into work the following week because he did that shit on a Thursday and we were going in a Friday. So I got Friday off. So Sunday night rolls in. And I have one dude, the staff sergeant at the time, just had spinal injections because he was having nerve issues. So he couldn't fucking move. So he was what we like to call the cams punk, for want of a better term. He did nothing but fucking computer work. The other dude that came in, his name was Reeves. I'm not going to give his first name away. His name was Reeves. He was sick as a damn dog. Couldn't figure out why. Just constantly puking all over the place. That's the only three people on mids. Me, that guy that was puking, and Cam's guy. Only three people on the shift. And the Finucane walks up. He's like, all right, we got to get all this stuff done. And I look at him. I was like, all right, look. I'm not in the mood to deal with you tonight. He's sick. He's useless. It's on me tonight. So I'm going to get this done, and I'll let you know when I'm fucking finished. Went out there in the fucking bobtail, started driving that bitch around, started checking all the night and the fucking EPU bottles and whatnot. He rolls up in the truck, and he's like, you good? And you could tell it was like fucking cutting tension with a butter knife. He's like, you good? And it's like, no, I'll make it work. He's like, all right, let me know if you need anything. And for the first time, he just drove off without giving any back talk. I was like, oh, my Lord, it's a Christmas fucking miracle. You mean to tell me I get to have peace and quiet all night and I can actually do my job? Man. I finished up right as day shift was fucking coming in. I was finishing servicing the tires. I'm like, why is everything taking so long? And the dude actually stepped up. He's like, Airman Reeves was sick. Staff was getting all the other forms and stuff done. Andrews was out there alone basically all night trying to make sure everything was good. They all looked at me like, you did mid-shift practically by yourself. I'm like, yeah. You know, fast forward to now, they wonder why my back's fucking gone. Well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, when you got to fucking haul a goddamn hydraulic mule by yourself and it's 500 plus pounds and you got to drag it, fucking anchor yourself low to the ground to try to pull that bitch. Yeah, I guarantee you your spine will fucking go disappear.
Just a little bit.
We used to have to work with the some of the B1 panels, and some of them things were 200-300 pounds a piece, and the rear main tires in the B1 about 400 pounds, and trying to move those things around. They're like, get the forklift. I'm like, why? To make it super dangerous? The 400 fucking pound rear main. I'm not standing on the next to it on forklift. Sorry. I'm just gonna grab a hold and put it on the fucking rack.
That's like people fucking servicing a tire and sitting right next to the tire. I'm like, you dumbass, go behind the tire before it explodes on you. It's not gonna explode. Really? What did you hook up the hose to? Low or high pressure? Yeah. Might want to rethink that logic.
I don't know what the hubs on the F-16s are, but the B1s are two-piece hubs. They basically sandwich the tire between them. And I had to go get a bunch of them mated. So I'm at a tire shop, and the guy rolls one into the little mesh cage, and he walks behind the wall. I'm like, is this safe out here? And he's like, I don't know. That's why I'm back here. There's gonna be about 400 pounds of pressure in that tire, and if it comes apart, that little cage ain't holding shit.
Smart man.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'm coming with you then.
We had a fucking staff sergeant that thought it was a brilliant idea to hot shot a fucking tire in the middle of the fucking heat. And he knew it was the high pressure too. He fucking cranked that bitch up, fucking threw it on the tire, and I was like, you idiot.
Nope.
Fucking QA and everybody and their mother right behind them. Because this is for like a fucking go. We're like, this jet's trying to take off, and they said the tire pressure was low. And I'm like, okay, guy. You're going to do that in front of the masters, the techs, and all of your peers. And then look her up. Okay. And you wonder why I can't handle stupid people.
So are the hubs one piece on the F-16 or are they two piece?
So yeah, on the mains, The hubs, they're held in by 3 screws, which you have to safety wire down because apparently we love fucking safety wire.
Yep.
We love it so much. I'm pretty sure all the safety wire can make one whole Constantine wire around the fucking base.
True.
So you have the outside hub, and then you have the nut that's held in by a little lock key on the inside. And you got a fucking 2 screws hold the lock key in. You got to safety wire those together, and then you take the fucking nut off, and you're fucking good. So you got those on both the mains, and then the nose, I believe, was you just have the nut. You don't really have a hubcap for it because the nut is held in with a couple of. It's got like I think it's 3 screws on that one as well, and you got a fucking S curvature that whole shit together.
Yeah, so the hubs, so the wheels, I should say, on the B1s are literally 2 pieces. They're made of ceramic. They sandwich the tire, and then there's bolts all the way around it, obviously with the safety wire all inside those. But when they fill it up with air, it's probably, so I'm 6'1". It was a little over waist high for me, and they're about 400 pounds a piece. And we used to have to put them on this rack because I worked in supply, and we had to put them on this rack. The rack was only about 6-7 inches off the ground. And they were wanting me to get the forklift and everything. And I've got like 6 of these things to put on this rack. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's fucking super dangerous. I had to strap it in with a fucking strap, do all this extra bullshit, or I could just muscle that bitch up there. It's only 6 inches. So I used to do that shit all the time. The front mains are they're about the size of a diesel truck tire. They're not that big. Just thick.
I'd say a main landing gear tire was maybe 150 pound.
Oh, so they're not big at all. They're pretty small.
I mean, it's just the awkwardness because the jack that you fucking jack them, that you raise them up with is very fucking, it's still somewhat low to the ground. So you're not like putting it here. Like you got to squat like you're about to shit yourself and then try to slide it on there without popping the rings off on the inside of the tube.
Okay. Yeah, of course, B1 tires
in today's military, there's kids that don't even know what the difference between a fucking landing gear tire or a fucking Coleman tire. They took this big ass fucking tire that clearly did not belong on a fucking jet. That looked like it was a 4-wheel drive tire.
Jesus.
Rolled it all the way at the end of the flight line, sitting there because he's like, yeah, your jet's coming back for a fucking red cord. Jet rolls in and he's standing there with his tire, so proud of himself. Fucking expediter rolls. I was like, you some kind of special?
You know they don't go on that plane, right?
Well, this dude's got a fucking, we used to call them the tan condoms because he's got it. They're the balaclavas. They're fucking
balaclavas, yeah.
Yeah, he's got this tan one on. He looks like a fucking condom. He's fucking standing out here in the middle of the fucking sun, and he's got this tire just fucking. Bear in mind, he doesn't even have maintenance gloves on. He's got these fucking wool gloves on, like these fucking big ass. I'm about to go hike in the Arctic for the next year. Fucking gloves on. And I'm just over here like, bruh, you are what makes my hairs go white. I can't understand you people.
So, what was your favorite part about the FOD walks?
Oh, the ass chewings afterward. We'd be sitting there in the middle of roll call. Oh, fucked up FOD walk. Y'all missed the fucking safety wire behind this jet. Sir, that jet's in phase. Oh. Yeah, I'm not walking all the way down to phase, guy. Then you get all right, they got a golden bolt out there. Fucking we get out there. You know they're full of shit, right? There ain't no golden bolt. Hey, you think they want to give us a day off? No. Okay, then. Like, FOD walk turned into bullshit walks, what it turned into, because not even the fucking master sergeants and whatnot were actually trying.
I always have
like I like they're like it's not FOD walk, it's not FOD talk, it's FOD walk, and I'm like, motherfucker, I can look at the ground and talk at the same time. Doesn't mean it's gonna fucking disappear. What do you mean? You trying to tell me my mouth replace my eyeballs? It just means it gets lower to the ground. What?
I promised you my eyes still work if my mouth is running.
And then the best one yet is fucking expecting us to do 3 a.m. FOD walks with shitty ass Mac lights the size of fucking this that fucking barely illuminate anything. Like you could turn them sons of bitches on and you couldn't see fucking your hand from here. And you're like, my guy, you expect me to find safety wire with this motherfucking thing? Fuck. Wait was even better because they made us do a fucking. They learned. Shaw learned very quickly what happens when you give crew chiefs whistles.
Oh.
So in the tech data, when we had the books, right before they went to the new technology, in the tech data it tells you're required that each tow member, if you're doing a tow job, requires a whistle to sound if you're getting close to hitting something, right?
Mm.
So they had this very smart idea. Let's give all the crew chiefs their own personal whistle. Well, how do you wake up a base at 5 a.m. with a bullshit FOD walk? You blow your whistle. What happens when you've got 30 of them going off randomly for the next half hour? You wake up the entire fucking base, including the base commander. And we didn't give a shit. They made us FOD walk an area that was because it was y'all heard of Al Jabber?
Yeah, I've
By
heard
chance?
it.
Okay. So it was the Sultan ramp. And they made us FOD walk. They're like, all right, come out here off the runway or off the pad. We got to FOD walk this area. We start walking and then we hear, wait. We forgot to mention they haven't checked this area for bombs yet.
Is that considered FOD?
You don't want to hear.
Bear in mind, nobody bothered to fucking check because this area hadn't been checked since the fucking Gulf War.
That's
right?
a safe
fucking, since Desert Storm, they're like, yeah, we haven't checked to see if there's any bombs out here. So if you see anything, don't touch it. I'm like, why the fuck are we FOD walking this shit then? What do you think some dumbass A1C is going to do if he sees something sticking out that looks like metal?
I found this mortar-shaped piece of metal.
Fuck?
Should I pick it up?
But the point of FOD walks is to pick up metal and stuff. So why are we doing it?
Yeah, so it's basically anything like rocks,
Isn't
metal,
it
anything that would
counterintuitive to
damage
do
it.
it in an active possible minefield?
Oh, the stupidity! So that was 2011. Fast forward to 2016. We're in Afghanistan getting mortared on. Operation Freedom Sentinel, Operation Inherent Resolve, right? We're getting mortared on. Border wave comes in and everything. They sound the all clear and whatnot. All right, guys, let's go out and do a FOD walk. We go out there. They're like, all right, whatever you find, pick it up. We start walking. Alarm goes right back off. This guy, yeah, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Keep looking. Sir, did you not understand that alarm right there means there's more fucking coming? And we're out here because, brilliant Air Force. You don't go out there with your helmet. You don't go out there with your vest. You don't go out there with your gun. You rack all that shit inside. So you're walking out on the flight line with absolutely no protection. And then the mortar sounds.
Right.
Generally, what you do is you scramble the 1.5 miles back inside, because that's what it fucking feels like, to put your shit on. This dude thought FOD was more important. I'm like, bruh, you about to have more FOD.
So you want me to stay out here and keep looking when it goes off?
So when I see a motor land right next to me, you want me to stand there too?
So you joke about that. You joke about that. We got a no notice order to get out of Afghanistan. We got told the commander came over to our section, and it was Mayish or so. We were waiting on Aviano to relieve us. Fun fact: they all came in fucking broke. Go figure, because it's the fucking buzzards. So the buzzards showed up broke. We had to fucking lend them our jets to fly their fucking sorties because they were supposed to take over for us. Then we had to fucking camp parts over because they couldn't figure out how to fix their shit. So when we finally got fucking told, it was like this. Hey, there's a cargo plane landing here in the next 45 minutes. In 2 hours, you and about 53 of your people are hopping on that cargo plane and getting the fuck out of here. And I'm not taking no for an answer. So then we had to scramble to out process, get the fuck out of the barracks, turn our fucking useless rifles in, because bear in mind, you can't sight them. The fucking magazines were fucking falling out of the bottom. Like the ammo and the mags were falling out of the bottom of the mags because they wouldn't fucking repair them. So people were literally duct taping them 20 times over just to keep the rounds in.
Sounds like you had a great deployment.
And then we got fucking put on this bus with this angry national. And when I say angry, have you ever seen the look of death? Like someone woke up and decided he wanted to just murder people that day?
It got a rough idea.
Yeah, this dude looked at us like we were about to be his next fucking victim. And he was pretty, I was like, and I sat there, I told someone, he's like, that dude looks like a problem. I have a feeling some shit's about to go down as soon as we get the fuck out of here. I could not have called it any fucking better. We get through customs, we turned our IBA and everything. Incoming. We all hit the fucking deck in the back lot of customs, and it was like a fucking train whistle. I swear to God, I will never, ever look at a train the same way again, because that train whistle was literally coming right at us. And that was a fucking mortar round. I'm seeing fireworks splayed all over the fucking ground. And I'm hearing this incoming train whistle. He's like, and we're like, what the fuck happened? We hear clear. We go to dust. We have shrapnel and everything all over us. This fucking mortar round landed 5 feet away from where we were. Here's us. Here's the road. Here's the parking lot. The customs lieutenant and chief are in the sea channel over here. The round landed in the middle of the fucking road between us and them. And none of us had fucking gear on because we turned it all in.
Yay, Air Force.
Oh, we went back. And there's a good buddy of mine that he went back and he told him, he's like, I never wanted to play there again. I never want to do that shit again. Because it fucked with him. It fucked with him. Like, you want to know how you get PTSD? That's how.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Me, I had PTSD because not only that, but the fact that I was on top of the fucking 904. I'll let you boys do some research when you have free time. If you look up a news clipping around 2016, there's 3 to 4 Army dudes that got blown up by a suicide bomber in Bagram. That whole bullshit happened because some brilliant fucking general had the great idea to mass announce in email traffic that they were doing a morning fun run at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Sorry, what?
Guess who has access? Yeah, they were doing a fun run at 5 in the morning on the heavy side. And all the top leadership was going to be there.
That's not a thing you put in the emails to the public.
Well, the Nationals have access to the email.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, thank you for the host. So when the brass, as we like to call them, all gathered up here on the heavy side for this nice little fun run, this dude walks up wearing a fucking trench coat, like legit fucking trench coat. These 4 Army dudes notice the dude is scared out of his fucking mind. Go to fucking confront him, and this dude blows up. Kills all of them. Kills the 4 Army dudes. And the problem with that is I was on top of 904, and it looked like a bomb went off. Like a legit fucking... we thought, me and my staff sergeant at the time, his name was Leach, we thought a fucking mortar landed below the radar, because there's... What people don't realize about the C-Rams is there's a radar system on them fuckers. If they don't catch a fucking mortar that's in their radar system, they won't fire.
Mm-hmm.
If that mortar goes below their radar system, that bitch won't fire. And that mortar will come in and slide in unannounced. So we thought it was a mortar that slipped through. We're like, what the fuck? We're getting mortared. So we went to start scrambling off the aircraft. we get inside and they're like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What y'all leave your tools for? We're like, one, there's a mushroom cloud over there at fucking Heaviside. Two, we don't know what the fuck just happened. Soon as we said that, the alarm goes off, and it's the one alarm I never thought I'd hear is the ground attack alarm. Because as soon as that dude blew up, that was the cue for the dudes over on the fighter side to start fucking attacking the fighter side. So they were trying to fucking raid the fighter side that we were on as soon as that bomb went off. And I was just like, bro, today is not the day. Not the day. I sat there behind a door ready to shoot somebody for the better part of 4 hours. I was like, I'm fucking irate. Like, I watched 4 people get blown up, literally get blown up, come back for another ground attack, and then we get our fucking heads almost damn near kicked in because of a damn mortar when we have no fucking gear. Ugh.
Does not sound like a fun day at all.
Oh, it was not. It was absolutely was not.
So, what was your transition like from military to civilian?
Oh Lord. It took some getting used to. I've been fighting a lot of personal demons during that time frame. And when I came back, I was going through a divorce. My ex barely talked to me, and I was barely able to talk to my kids because of that. OSI had tried to get my fucking parents in trouble. So my parents were not talking to me. So I had no family members, no family back home, no one really to talk to. So before when we were talking, before OSI pulled their punches, I told my parents what was going on. They said, we don't want you in Florida. We don't want you on top of us. I was like, okay. So I did the one thing that anybody would do. When you don't want to go somewhere where you've never been before, you go to the places that you've been to. So for me, that was Florida, Alabama, South Carolina. And I hated Shaw Air Force Base for 9 years. I told them flat out, if I ended up going back to Shaw, which ended up being my follow-on if I was to stay in, if I went back to South Carolina, I would not walk off that base alive because I knew the culture.
Mm.
And I had already been told, because I had informants at South Carolina, at Shaw, that said, it has not gotten any better. It got worse. So I was like, I cannot deal with their bullshit going back into this. I can't. It would literally kill me. So I went to the town. I went to Sumter. Sumter's a small town. It's a nice place. So I was like, all right, I'll go to Sumter. So it was one of those things where small town, check the price. And that's something I advise anybody who goes to the VA system to do. Look at how much you're getting. And if you are planning on, if that's what you're going to have to live off of, budget accordingly. Don't go, if you're only getting 3,000 in VA assistance, right? Because you're not 100%, say you're maybe 90, 80, 90%, right? You're only getting $3,000. You're not going to go to Florida and get a 1-bed, 1-bath studio for $2,200 with no utilities, right? You can't afford it. So I ended up settling down, found a place that had a couple of utilities that wasn't that was pretty cost effective as far as that goes. Because I'm 100% permanent and totally disabled per the VA. I have burring in my C6. I've got a hollow L4, L5, L5S1, which means I have constant back pain, along with the TBIs, along with the mental health, PTSD. There are days where I can't even crawl out of bed because I'm having a mental collapse. There are days where I get out of bed and I'm in constant pain. Like right now, my back is fucking spazzing. This is a comfortable ass chair. My back is spazzing just because that's what my back does. So like me going in and working a 9 to 5, it's not fucking happening. I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to do this, and I consider this a hobby, a passion, not a job. But even doing this, I'm in pain. So it's like, for me to work a normal 9 to 5, could I do it? Yeah, I could. But I guarantee I'd be fired.
Mm-hmm.
Because my personality with people, especially dumb people, no, I wouldn't have a filter. That. And when it comes to large gatherings, I'm still like, when I go somewhere I've never gone before, I'm still very much on edge, like the red alert.
Yeah.
Like your senses is in fight or flight 24/7 until you start finding people that you're used to hanging around with.
That doesn't go away 100%.
It never does.
No, I've been out since 99, and I still go, like, if I go to a restaurant or something like that, I still, like, know how many people are in the restaurant, sit with my back to the wall, know all the exits and stuff like that. That doesn't go away. That stays with you. It gets not as bad. Like, I can go to Walmart and not be on edge, but I don't stick around. I go in and get my shit done and go home.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same way I am. I go in and do what I got to do, and I barely leave home. Like, I'm starting to slowly get out. Like, getting into streaming has afforded me a couple of opportunities because I managed to budget things like the conventions and the traveling and whatnot. I budget what I can, and then what I can't budget, I find a way around it. Like, normally I would fly to a convention, get a hotel, get a rental car, and then fly back, do whatever. Now, for these next two that I'm about to do, I'm driving the 16 hours to Dallas, doing the convention, driving back, then driving right back out to Midwest Fest in Kansas City, and then driving back to save money.
Right.
And finding loopholes and stuff to be able to conserve cash because there's only so many things I can budget.
Right.
Yeah.
And that being said, it's one of those things where, due to being able to go out, and now that and originally when I first started this, I wasn't a partnership manager for the organizations that I'm partnership manager for. One being a mental health organization and one being a charity that helps kids and helps veterans. I wasn't a part of that. I was just going just to be me. Now that I'm a partnership manager for both of those, I'm going not only for myself, but I'm going to represent them as well. So it's like, in that aspect, there's more reasons to travel. There's more reasons to get out of my house, to get out of my comfort zone, go experience this stuff, and try to live the life that for 13 years I did not get to experience because I was constantly slaving away.
Yeah, for in July I'm going to my first podcast convention. We were invited to one in Denver.
You were cutting in and out just a little bit there.
Oh, okay. Why am I cutting it? Is that better?
That's better.
Say a full sentence.
Yeah, it just started doing it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Why, my fucking Christ?
Is that English?
My shit's breaking.
Oh, smash!
I heard, why?
And this is why you don't drink an AMF and then decide to go live.
Okay, so we have a podcast convention in Colorado, in Denver, Colorado. And this is our first podcast convention we're going to as Asylum Arms. So
sounds
I
pretty
get
good.
experience traveling, I guess.
I don't know if I go out as far as Colorado, but if I went to Colorado, I'd probably fly. I would never drive.
You're in South Carolina right now?
Yeah.
I live in North Carolina.
There's a lot of people I know that live up in the North Carolina.
Yeah, I hate it here.
But well, I normally go up there to the Harris Cherokee.
Mhm.
So I normally go up there sometimes, not often, but sometimes. So I have no problem traveling in North Carolina. It's just like I could see when I was going up to Ohio to see my kids, which now they're down here in South Carolina, thank God. But when they were up in Ohio, I could see the gas prices steadily rise, and I could tell where I was at. Well, gas there is like 10, 20 cents more than here. And then Ohio, the gas price in Ohio is the same price as diesel in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, that is.
Well, rent here is expensive too. Rent here is out fucking outrageous. Like we pay like $1,500 a month, and that's
I pay
cheap.
I pay $11.40.
Yeah, we pay $1,500, and that's cheap.
Yeah, I pay $11.40 for the 2-bed, 1-bath I'm in, and that's with water, sewage, trash included.
Yeah, see, none of our utilities are included except water
and a washer dryer in here. So
We have water that's included, and that's actually water is not included. We have to pay the facility that we live in the water bill, so we still have a water bill to pay. So none of our utilities are included. We still pay $1,500. I'm trying to find a place that's cheaper to live. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Move to South Carolina.
I was thinking like West Virginia. Apparently, it's like the cheapest place in the country to live.
It may be cheap to live there, but if gas prices ain't. Gas prices are fucking expensive.
I don't leave my house.
They're just as bad as fucking Ohio.
Yeah, I need to find a new place to live because this place is expensive.
But
of course, I'm only 80% disabled, and I just got laid off from work like 2 weeks ago.
How are you 80%?
Because it took me 20 years to get to 70 because the VA denied me 4 times.
Fucking hell.
So
I'll never understand that with the VA.
So
like
when I was in, I ripped my ACL in half, and then I had 3 surgeries afterward. I had a scope done to clean it out, and then I had 2 reconstructions done because one failed. So I had 3 surgeries while in, and they only gave me 10% for pain. So for 20 years, I fought them. I tried to get it raised 3-4 times and was denied every single time. And then finally had to go through a vet's guardian to get it raised to 70%. And then they gave me like 15% or something like that for my back. Because I have a L5S1 out of place and it's pinching a nerve. So when you talk about your back pain, I know exactly what you're going through. Like I can't stand up more than 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. And before I got to sit down because it hurts. It becomes a mechanical issue where my leg doesn't want to move. I have a pinched nerve there. So I've got to try to get that fixed. But yeah, I'm only at 80%.
See, that's why I try to tell people. Like I ended up I had one dude come up to me before I got out. He's like, "What are you doing for your VA stuff?" And I told him exactly what I was doing. He's like, "No one ever told me that." And I was like, "Well, who are you going through?" He's like, "I've got, like, I'm not going to out them, but there's an org that tells people to talk to them about VA stuff and may or may not be accurate." And when I was like, "No, fucking don't do it when you get out. Do it now. Do it before you get out. It'll save you fucking ass pain. That way you know what you're getting when you get out, and then you can decide from there."
Yeah, we didn't have any of those resources. It's now that from what I've understand, it's gotten a lot better for people that are getting out. NCOs and lieutenant, upper echelons of the ranks are telling them, "Hey, go get your medical records. Go make sure this is on there. This is on this shit like that." We didn't have that shit. It was like, "Oh, you just went to fucking medical again? Why? Because you can't fucking hack it, you big pussy." Blah 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 blah. They just
rags. That's the thing is, the medical aspect of it might be good, but the mental health aspect is still shit.
Yeah, mental health is still shit.
The day I went to mental health, because I almost committed suicide in the parking lot when that shit was all going down that I mentioned earlier with the commander and whatnot, they told me to go weed eat an entire football field because the commander wanted it done. Didn't have had a lawnmower and everything. Didn't want to give it to me. They said, go weed eat this. He's a weed eater. I cut this whole fucking field.
Shit.
I went in my fucking truck and I subconsciously almost I broke down in my truck because I felt like I was being treated like a straight fucking prisoner.
Yeah.
No one gave a fuck. No one wanted to hear my side. No one gave a shit about anything I had to say because they had already made up their fucking minds. And I subconsciously pulled out my knife and damn near slit my fucking wrists. And it wasn't until a phone call came in that I kind of snapped back to, and I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck am I doing?" Threw the knife to the floorboard, fucking scared the shit out of myself. And I said, "Fuck that, I'm going to mental health." I got halfway to mental health. Fucking shirt calls me. He's like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "I'm going to mental health." He's like, "You want to ride?" "No, I'm already on my way." Hung up the phone on him. As soon as they found out I went to mental health, it was like I became a ghost.
Yep.
Like I stopped existing. And the problem I have with that is there's a lot of people I know that are trying to change that aspect. They're trying to change that mentality in the military, and I give them all due credit for it. But it's a fucking tough ass road.
It's an uphill battle.
It's an uphill battle because the thing is all these fucking old heads have got it in their system where the moment you go to mental health, you're useless. You're useless. Not once did any of them say, hey, can you do your job? Are you confident you can do your job and still be able to get therapy at the same time? That question is never asked is, okay, well, go to a back room. We don't trust you anymore. And it should never be that way. It should never be that way.
You can still function with mental health.
You know, exactly. But and that's the thing that, you know, I'm proud of Alpha Dogs, which is the mental health org that I'm a part of. We try to say is there's this misconception that men, not just service members, but men are, you know, are supposed to be these stoic figures that can get through any problems, and we should never fucking falter. When in reality, we just bottle our shit up and we try to make do. And eventually, guess what happens when that shit gets overpressurized? It's overstressed out. We explode.
Yep.
And one or two things happen. Either we break down, or as 75% of the statistics say, we make a very bad decision that has a long lasting effect. You know, and
it's a permanent answer to a temporary situation.
Yeah. But again, that's because of the lack of fuck all within the system. Like that's why I gave, when I started it off, I gave props to the civilians that were there. The military members didn't give a shit. And I found out while I was there, they were firing. The military was actively firing civilians. My civilian psychiatrist wasn't sure if she was going to keep her job because they released the civilian psychologist and tried replacing her with an A1C that could do her job.
Yep.
Because all they wanted to do was put Band-Aid fixes. They were getting yelled at for repeat customers.
Jesus.
And firing civilians who didn't have an immediate fix. So I ended up going, I went to Vicenza. Are y'all familiar with the Vicenza Army base up there that has all the paratroopers?
No.
I am not.
So north of Aviano, about an hour drive, is Vicenza. They are the only place in Italy that has a TBI clinic per the Army. So I was getting seen up there by the neurophysiologist. And the day I met her, she was a sweetheart, old lady, but she was a sweetheart. The day I met her and I gave her all my issues and whatnot, she looked at all my paperwork that Aviano had sent and then actually did like a physical on me. And she straight up said, yeah, your Elvis system, your Elvis nerve is fucked. You have no core support. Your eyes are basically fucking done. You're fucking like, they took me over to the vision doc, Captain Shade, also a sweetheart. Sat there, looked at me, he's like, yeah, your left eye's tracking 6 to 8 seconds behind your right eye. That's why you're getting motion sick sometimes. That's why you're off balance half the time. And I was like, well, fuck. Like they were confirming everything Aviano was saying.
Right.
And so I went back up there for repeat treatment, repeat therapy. And my last session with her, she's like, I'm probably losing my job. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, this medical company's buying out what we currently have, and they don't like the fact that we're having repeat visitors to the care center for treatment. They just expect us to have a one and done. And when we try to actually do our jobs and give treatment, they don't like that. So they're just trying to make it to where their statistics look better. So they started releasing all the civilians and replacing them with active duty personnel.
Well, they don't want just Band-Aid fixes. They don't want actual fixes.
Yep. Band-Aid here's some fucking meds.
Here's some meds, go to work.
Yep. That's why, and that's just to be straight up honest with me. That's why I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, that's not how you should be treating anybody. Like, I get it. Not everybody came in for the right reasons, but if you're fucked up doing your job, you have a right to get treatment and you have a right to get fixed as best as able. Yeah. You know, because that's what they fucking owe you. And if you can't do that, then why are you in this fucking profession? You know? You think you're just going to sit, you know?
I've loved, I've had VA therapists. I have a VA psychologist. He channels all my meds and stuff like that. They've been great. Problem is that the VA can't keep them because the civilian sector, they get paid more, first off. Or they'll change positions. Like one of my therapists, she went from handling like depression, PTSD, anxiety, stuff like that to sexual trauma because it pays more, and that's what she wanted to do. So I lost her to that, which I'm not mad at her for it, but I was kind of like irritated because it's like, Jesus, now I got to start over with somebody new, and like open all these fucking doors that I wanted to keep closed to begin with, and I got to open all that shit back up, and so I did that 3 times with the VA. I had to go. I've been through 3 different therapists with the VA, and finally, I was just like, I need consistency. Like, if I'm going to get better at any point in time, I know my brain's fucked up. I need consistency. I need the appointments on time every time, and there can't be any breaks. Once you have a break, then you start over. Because you go back, you revert back to where it was easy for you to just not deal with it and just bottle it up and then just move about your day. And then once every few months you blow your top at something because your fucking Wendy's didn't come in right or something. They put mayonnaise on your burger and you wanted ketchup instead. Something stupid, but it fucks your whole day up. So that's why I went to community care, which fucked up is that they didn't schedule me for my last appointment for this last Monday. So I was waiting at home, shit all ready to go. Called them about 3:30 and I was like, where's my appointment? And they're like, oh, you didn't get scheduled. I was like,
Yeah.
are you fucking serious right now?
the thing I hate is I was going through Prisma here, and community care normally schedules all the appointments and whatnot, but Prisma Health said, hey, message us back when you get the results for your MRIs and stuff, for your back and your neck. That way we can see, because they said that there was a little bit of burning on the C6, which was probably causing the numbness in the arm.
Yeah.
And then they did another EKG on the arm. They said, yeah, there's a nerve in your elbow that might be getting pinched as well that might need surgery. So I was like, okay. And then they fucking did the back. They're like, yeah, your back muscles and everything appear to be fine, but your L4, L5, L5, S1 is completely black. And I was like, all right. So Prisma was like, all right, we'll schedule you. We'll get you some. We're not gonna do any surgery on your back. We might do some burn. We might deburr the neck stuff, but we're gonna get you some steroid shots for your back. Maybe get you to go in and do some new type of yoga. And I was like, okay, cool. Anything that fucking helps is great.
Right.
Haven't heard a peep back from them. And I messaged them. I was like, hey, trying to schedule an appointment, trying to do this. Nothing. Dead silence. And I was like, okay, fuck me.
So have you ever had the cortisone shot before?
Nope.
So I had the shots in my back. And
I unfortunately have had them in my back.
well, it's not super painful. It's not painful.
It's not
aggravating.
painful.
It's more aggravating than anything. It's like irritating. But I've had the shots in my back. It lasted all of 12 hours. I've had the shot in my knee. I had those knee surgeries. I still got a lot of cartilage damage and scar tissue there. I've had it in there. That lasted 12 hours. So if you get the shots, I hope it works for you, because for some people, it works for like months and there's like no pain, like none. And then every few months you go back and get it done again. So if it works for you, I hope it does.
Plus, you keep doing it again as you become immune to it. A lot of times after goes,
There goes your mic again. Your mic hates you today.
I don't know why. Right.
But yeah, if you get the shot,
speak without you.
But yeah, if you get the shot, if they do the cortisone shots on you, I hope it works, because I've talked to people that said it worked, and they were like pain free for months.
Yeah, well, I got to figure out why they canceled 2 other of my appointments, because I had 2 other appointments in the books, and they canceled them. Now that I have 1 appointment next week, so I'm going to find out what the hell's going on with that.
Civilian?
VA.
So I do community care for pretty much everything.
Yeah, well, I have a Sumter Seabach here, so I'm going to find out why that stuff's getting canceled and what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I've had a lot of appointments canceled. They've canceled a lot of my appointments before. Just the VA here for Salisbury, they don't do, like, the VA here doesn't do back stuff at all. Like, they can do like physical therapy and things like that, but as far as like pain management and stuff, it's all outsourced to community care.
Yeah, so, I for my dock, for my PCM, I go here to Sumter, but for anything else, I have to drive the hour to Columbia.
Yeah.
To go to Dorn.
If they can't give you an answer as to why you get canceled or anything like that, I would recommend going community care for everything, or as much as you can.
Yep.
I've had so much better luck with them than I ever have with. Like, I'm getting ready to do a tinnitus light hearing loss thing, because you know as well as I do, you're working with jets and shit like that. This shit's fucking loud.
Oh yeah,
Even-
they told me I didn't have it.
Same.
I looked at them and laughed. I was like, I definitely hear ringing in my ears more times than I care for. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, they said they did the same thing for me, and I'm like, working behind B1s doesn't qualify for hearing loss. Well, like, no, you have normal hearing loss. I was like, what the fuck is normal hearing loss?
How is being behind airplanes normal hearing loss?
That's why you just go, what?
So yeah, they did that. They did the same shit to me. Like, your hearing loss is not service connected. And I was like, yeah, it is. I promise you.
Yeah, I told him I was an F-16 crew chief that ran actual jets and fucking ran mini jet engines and whatnot. They're like, nah. You were wearing hearing protection. I'm like, you think that actually blocks out all the fucking noise?
Fuck no, those things it doesn't make it. It makes it slightly quieter.
Like it's like, you think that blocks out all the noise? Well, you're wearing double hearing protection. Would you like me to say I was wearing triple? If you know of another hole in my ear that I could plug to make it quieter, by all means.
Yeah, that's just not quiet. Even we had the earmuffs, big thick earmuffs, they're like stuck out like this. Shit was still loud.
Yep.
What's the thrust of an F-16?
Ooh.
F-16 has what, 1 or 2 inch? I'm not familiar.
1. It's long.
One?
We call it, yeah, you're thinking of the F-15 with 2 engines.
F-15, okay. So what's the thrust of that engine?
You got me doing math, and I hate math.
Ballpark.
Well, I mean, it can only go up to Mach 1, so Mach 1, maybe almost Mach 2. So, fuck. All right, I'm not. Google is your friend. Fuck that shit.
I was just curious.
If you asking me all these questions.
Yeah.
Like the funny part is if you were to put me out there, I could do the fucking job from like memory. But when you ask me all the technical questions, it's like,
oh yeah, it's muscle memory at that point.
yeah, it's just like,
I mean, imagine it's a fraction of what the bomber has.
looking for. Okay, so max speed is Mach 2. Looking for the thrust. G limits is 9, which the thrust 1.095. 1.24 with loaded weight and 50% internal fuel. That's thrust to weight. So G limits is 9. I've seen them do fucking 10 because they're idiots. So 17,800 pounds of force thrust dry and 29,160 pounds of force with afterburner.
Wow, so it's almost half. Because the B1, of course, it has the 4 engines. Each one of those engines is 30,000 pounds. That's what I would have to burn.
A B1 is.
Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering. I've not talked to anybody that's worked on fighter jets before, so that's why I was curious. I've talked to people that worked on bombers, but never fighter jets.
Even when we were in Vegas, you could see the P1 Lancers going out there, and they're like, every time we go out there, they're like, "Hey, there's a P1 Lancer." They're like, yeah, that's the only one of the 4 they have here that's actually working. The other 3 are broken.
Yeah, we had I think we had 4 on our base, 4 at Ellsworth.
I was like, wait, you mean they brought 4 here and 3 of them broke on landing? Yep. Welcome to the B1 life.
They break all the fucking, like, I knew I was going to be busy because I did supply for them. I worked with all the parts and shit like that. I knew I was going to be busy if they were running sorties at night. So as soon as I got to the dock, I'd be like, I'd walk up to the dock, open the door, and hear, I'm like, fuck.
You want to know how?
As soon as it landed, I was going to be busy.
It's okay. I was on the TDY to Vegas, and I rolled into work because we had a long night. I rolled into work, mostly there. Walked up to the flight line, started walking towards the building to put my stuff down. Mid-shift expediter. Yo, Jay. What? Hey, man, we got a fuel burn to do this morning. Repeat yourself, but this time in English. We got a slow burn we got to do this morning for fuel burn. One, why the fuck are you waiting till now to tell me this? Two, how slow of a burn? Oh yeah, we just need to make sure that the fuel needles are moving and everything, make sure everything's working. We got 30 minutes till steps. So you expect me to just drop my shit, get some gear on, run out to the aircraft, fucking fire it up, throw all caution to the wind, and hope and pray to God this bitch is fixed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Fuck it. All right. Fucking put my shit down, grab my headset, grab my fucking double hearing protection.
Mhm.
I go walk my ass out there, fucking jump the tubes and everything. Did my walk around, hopped up there, fucking fire that shit up. Here comes fuel bar. I'm like, what the like, we've already been fired up now for like a minute and a half. Everything's stabilized. Oh, Sergeant Andrews. We just need to make sure that the fuel needles aren't moving or anything. And I'm like, bruh, I'm sitting here staring at these needles and they have not fucking dipped once. Would you like me to scroll through, half, forward, and mid to make sure everything's fucking working? Yeah, you don't mind doing that. It's not that we don't trust you. It's just, we got to make sure for our own sake. Like, would you like to come up here and run the fucking aircraft? Oh, we don't have that kind of capability. Then how about you listen to the guy that has that capability? Huh? Fucking, I sat through 2 weeks of bullshit to do this. Fucking 5 minutes later, yeah, it's good to go for launches. Fucking asshole. Get out of the jet. Hey, so can you get it ready to fly? Want me to fucking go get your coffee too? Bear in mind, at that point in time, I was a salty motherfucker because I was one of maybe 2 staffs that actually was catching X's and whatnot and turning aircraft on the goes while the other 2 were sitting at the smoke pit fucking inhaling a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be fucking found, and my leg actually gave out. Like, I have blisters on the bottom of my feet from walking the flight line on that hot ass fucking asphalt all goddamn day. My leg actually gave the fuck out, and I'm over there hobbling, fucking roasted, fucking Sebastian the Crab in camouflage.
I had the opposite. We had it didn't get that hot in South Dakota, but it got cold.
Like Utah, like when we went to Hill, glorious fucking, glorious view. But fuck me if it wasn't freezing at night.
Yeah, it's fucking cold.
Like, it'd be nice and comfortable the day. Yeah, this ain't so bad. Then you get put out there in the buttfuck Egypt, and then you start walking your ass back with the box, and you feel like you're legit on another deployment. Just fucks right back up.
I used to get out of fucking because we had to. Obviously, we're not driving our cars on the flight line, so we'd park at the parking lot, and then we'd go across the cattle guards. And I remember one night I was going in, and there's nothing out there to block the wind. You're walking across the flight line.
There's
nothing out there to block the wind.
There's absolutely not.
Flight line gets covered in ice because it melts during the day and it freezes at night. So I pulled my arm. I had this, the big gray Parkers on. So I was just like, just put my arms out, get pushed by the wind, just getting pushed across the flight line. My NCO was like, he's like, what happens if you bust your face? I was like, I bust my face.
That's called an improvement, sir. Oh, the self-deprecating humor that let us survive half the crap.
So Rex's shit says fuck you, and he's wanting to talk about alpha dogs.
Ooh, the old Alfie of the dogs, eh? What you want to know?
Pretty much anything. I don't even know. I've
Pretty
never
much anything. All right, so let me start this. This is a story, right? So if you don't mind, let me indulge you in this story. So when I left regiment, I was looking for organizations that dealt with mental health, dealt with taking care of people, taking care of veterans, taking care of, just trying to make the world an actual better place. And I am a firm believer in standing on business. So Pun, the CEO of Alpha Dogs, came to my streams and had me listen to me talk about various topics, and reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're somebody we want in our organization because you practice what you preach, you stand on what you believe in, and you're wanting to make change for the right reasons."
Mm.
So I was like, "All right, well, let me do some investigating." So I had my moderators do a little bit of in-depth diving into Alpha Dogs, and I got into a conversation with Pun on the side after we did our investigation. And here's what we found out. Alpha Dogs used to be an esports organization, full-on esports organization. They were very competitive in Halo 3 scene back in the day. Unfortunately, anybody who's ever dabbled in the esports world knows that the politics behind esports is very, very fucking toxic.
Yes.
It is very cutthroat. People don't give a shit. They're looking to line their pockets. This didn't sit well with Pun, along with Rex and Nick, who are the C's. Nick was the COO. He just stepped down. Rex is the CSO. That shit didn't sit well with them. So they're like, you know what? We need to take a step back and reevaluate what we're doing here because we want to make change. We want to make change. This is not how we make change. So they took a step back from competitive esports, and without fluffing it up, Rex and Pun had good friends of theirs that passed away via suicide, all at the same time. Hit them hard. They started, reevaluating life choices. They said, we can't let this happen. So they started doing some statistics, and they found out that, as I mentioned earlier, 75% of men commit suicide on a daily basis. Not monthly, not weekly, daily basis.
Right.
They said, we need to change that. We need to bring more awareness to that. So they reformed Alpha Dogs. They repurposed it from an esports org to a mental health organization. Now, let me preface this. We bring in everybody. We have men and women. And there is a sister section called Luna Dogs. It doesn't really get publicized as much because there's not a whole lot of females within the organization. In order for the Luna Dogs part to actually come up and work, right. So that we've all basically chimed in onto the Alpha Dog side. But the purpose is to educate, inform, and bring people together for the sole purpose of mental health. If you go to the Discord, discord.gg/Alpha Dogs, we have how where's your mental at? You check in, we have a color coded system. You check in, see where your mental's at. And that's a good way. That's like a good giver of, okay, I'm doing good today, or I'm having a very shit fucking day. We have a venting section where people can come in and they can talk about stuff. We have our general chat. We have our gaming section. We just fired up our stream teams to try to on Kick and on Twitch. We just fired those up where people are able to come in and chat about mental health while gaming with individuals. And we're not scared to talk about mental health because we want mental health to be broached a lot more openly, because it's a topic that a lot of people like to hide behind and say, oh, well, we can't talk about that because, mental health. When in reality, mental health is such a broad subject that pertains to everything in life, whether it's streaming, whether it's work, the military. It's synonymous with the military because of all the shit we go through. But you have survivors, you have victims, you have people who just live life and have shitty days, and this shit falls out of the sky and they don't know how to handle it. We're here for everybody, regardless, and we want people to understand that they're under no circumstances should you ever feel alone. Which is why, the hashtag I came up with and a lot of people took to it was, you are the mission. Because you should never, I've been in a position personally where I felt alone. I felt as if I had no one in my corner. No one wanted to talk to me. No one gave a shit. My family abandoned me for a brief period of time. My ex wouldn't let me talk to my children for a good amount of time. The military abandoned me. I had no one. Right. And I'm overseas, stuck by myself, in the middle of COVID, mind you. My mental went into the tank. And it was one of those things where I told myself, I never want to see anybody else go through that, ever. No one should ever feel like they have to take themselves out of the equation because no one's in their corner. And alpha dogs, we're not perfect by any stretch of means. And then again, no human is perfect, but we do our damnedest to make sure that if there's a situation or we know somebody needs an ear to listen to, a shoulder to lean on, we are there for you. And what we're trying to do, and what one of the things I'll go ahead and say this now, we are going from an LLC to an actual charity. We are in the process of doing that because we want to be able to do more charity work, get the resources to be able to fund more research, because we want to do more research. We want to start educating people on how to handle mental health situations. Start actually having classes afforded in the Discord to where you know how to react, you know how to escort somebody, to mental health professionals, stuff like that. Instead of just redirecting somebody to an actual number, you can help alleviate some of what's going on and then still be able to take them and finish up that, instead of just completely ignoring what the issue is and just sending them to a number and making them feel like, okay, I've done nothing here. Because let's be honest, anybody with a grain of salt knows that sometimes when you call that number, you're not always going to get a friendly response on that number.
Right.
As much as I hate to say that, because everybody should care about each other in the world. Everybody should have this mentality of brothers and sisterhoods in the world. We don't have that because society is a lot more self-centered nowadays than it used to be. It's not about what can I do. It's not back in the days of JFK where you said, it's not about what your country can do for you. It's about what you can do for your country. It's all about what can I do for me.
Right.
And that's how it's been for years now. And you don't find as many people who are willing to step up and willing to make change without something benefiting them in the long run. And that's what Alpha Dogs is trying to change. We're trying to just be there for people. We're trying to help people. We don't care for anything in return. We want you to know that you matter. You are the literal mission. Your life is just as important as everyone else's. And through research, through promoting other mental health organizations like Stack Up, we just did a charity drive with Stack Up. We're partnered with Riley Esports, who is the other organization that I'm partnership manager for, who helps kids, underprivileged kids, and helps veterans and active duty. We're doing everything we possibly can, and then some, to try to make the world a better place. And we want other people to understand that. And we don't believe in directly DMing each other because that could start problems, right? Yeah. So we put everything out there in the open. And we also host, right now it's once a month. It's the first Wednesday of every month. But we host once a month on the first Wednesday. We host a support group. You come into the channel. You're not being live streamed. You're not being recorded. You can just come in. If you want your camera on, you can have your camera on in the Discord, but you're not being recorded or anything. And you can just talk about what's going on in your life. Talk about what's bothering you with fellow like-minded individuals that won't judge you, actually care about you, are there to support you 100%. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of lives that I've seen changed, and there's a lot of good folk, a lot of good streamers that used to be so shy that they didn't want to say anything, that have come into those support groups and have had their mental affected in a positive way because they see the care and the love that's shown.
Right.
And for me, on a personal level, I tell everybody, my DMs are always open. My cell phone, my moderators, every single one of my moderators have my personal cell phone number, because I treat my community like it's an actual family, because they are the reason why I'm still alive. When I started streaming on Twitch back in 2021, when I started streaming on Twitch, I had no family I could talk to. Military fucking forsook me. Couldn't talk to my kids. I started streaming World of Warcraft Rated Battlegrounds, and the community at the time came in, and a lot of them were vets. And I started talking. I got to the point where that used to be a distraction, and then I just came out with it. I was like, look, guys, can I just talk to you about the fuck's going on in my life? And I let it all out. And the love and the support that I received in return of fellow vets, fellow active duty, spouses of vets, people, military kids, people who, even regular everyday Joes coming in and saying, yeah, you know what? You're not alone. We understand this.
Yeah.
That meant the world to me. That's part of the reason why I'm still here. It's because of them. So I treat my community like a family. And so my moderators know that if there's ever a situation, there's ever a problem where somebody needs an ear to talk to, give them my number. Have them call me.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on fucking Twitter. Let me be there for you, because I don't want people to go through the same shit I went through. People deserve to have a voice. People deserve to have a friend, regardless of what the situation is. And that's something that when I went into Alpha Dogs, because I was originally just going to be in there to be a streamer, to be an ambassador, because I believe 100% in mental health.
Yes.
And I was originally going to be in there just to be a streamer, just to be an ambassador. And Pun was like, "No, fuck that. We're putting you up higher. You're going to be a partnership manager because of how you think and your vision."
Right.
And I was like, "All right, I'm going to do the best I can. I ain't perfect, but I'm going to do the very best I fucking can."
Yeah. So I joined the Discord.
Oh yeah, man.
Because that should have been. I wish I'd had access to it yesterday. Because when I said something about that Wendy's order, that was yesterday. Like I woke up pissed off at the world for whatever reason. Was hungry, and asked the wife, so she wants something. She said, "Yeah, give me something from Wendy's or whatever." So I got her. So I ordered Wendy's. Right, I just ordered some fucking food. And they got the whole fucking order wrong. And I literally, my son comes in and he's like, "Hey, here's the food." So I checked the food and everything. I was like, "Where's my fucking fries? Where's this? Where's that? Why the fuck are the drinks different? What the fuck's going on?" And I was to the point, I was so pissed off. I gave him the bag and his mom's drink and frosty. I said, "Take this downstairs before I throw it a fucking cross the room." I was that pissed off. And so I checked my sandwich. I didn't get no fries. I checked my sandwich and they even fucked my sandwich up. And I'm like, it's not even a big fucking deal. It's just food, right? It's irrationally angry. So I slam my fucking sandwich down. I get pissed off. I fucking slam it in the trash can. I'm like, I am beside myself angry yesterday for no reason. And I call Wendy's because I'm like ready to chew someone out. And I call Wendy's. Of course, they didn't answer the phone, which is probably a good thing because I'd have hurt someone's feelings. And after that whole deal, I'm sitting there thinking, I fucking get my credit back for my food and whatnot. And I'm like, why am I so mad? Like, it's just fucking food. Why am I so angry? My wife was like, well, I mean, just got laid off. Like, your world's basically crumbling apart. You're going through a lot of shit right now. Like, you've worked literally almost every single day except for like a year I was laid off while we've been married. We've been married for almost 15 years. I've worked every single, when I was supposed to work, I've worked. And now I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. She's like, you haven't gone off. You haven't like flipped your shit. You haven't done anything. You've been kind of chill the whole time. Like, it's kind of understandable. Like, yeah, but I was irrationally upset. Like, the only reason I didn't throw that food across the fucking house is because I knew I'd have to clean this shit up. That was the only reason I didn't throw it across. I mean, it took everything in me to not do it. And I didn't stream yesterday. I streamed today, but I didn't stream yesterday. I was like, I can't do it. I cannot get on the internet. I cannot get on Twitch and be entertaining for people right now. Because I am pissed off.
That's how it is for me some days, man. Some days I get up and it's like a fucking Mack truck just rolled up and hit me at fucking Mach 3 and I'm just laying there, no will to move, out of, just completely out of it. Don't have the urge to stream. And it takes me a little bit, and then I get on, and I when I say, and I call it my Valhalla fam, because my shit's Viking oriented. These ladies and gents in this family are literally the reason why I love doing this. I could be having the shittiest fucking day on the planet, and I could go live, and they'll still be here and be like, "Hey, we're here with you. Let's do this. What you want to do?" I could go on Twitter and be like, "Hey, I ain't feeling hot. I just want to game with some friends tonight. Who's up for some fucking fork knife?" And people will be like, "I got you. Let's go."
Yeah.
They'll hop in and they'll game, and we bullshit. And the thing is I pride myself on being transparent and honest to a fault.
Right.
Like there's no second personality like some people. There's no secret agenda. What you see is what you get. What you see in game, what you see on camera is what you get in person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in being like, especially if you're going to be on Twitch, just be who you are, be yourself. If you can't be yourself because eventually, if you're not being yourself, yourself's going to come out. You can't keep up a persona indefinitely.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And the thing is like there's people that try to put on these personas because they think they're going to rake more money in or whatever. And I'm like, no,
Right.
people could see right through that shit.
Yeah, I'm going to be who I am, and if you like me, great. If you don't, you can find someone else to watch. You can flip channels. You can scroll on. I don't.
But
I'm going to be me, whether you like it or not.
But it's just one of those things where I'm very blessed to have the family that I have in this chat, and for the opportunities that I've been given with Rally and with Alpha, and we're making moves. We're trying. We're going to be at DreamHack Dallas in a couple of weeks. We're planning on having a presence at DreamHack Atlanta. We're Rally's in works right now to do a charity convention up in Ohio. We're trying to get all that figured out and set up. It's going to be a little mini convention, not grand scale, but it's going to be a mini convention because there's going to be a Call of Duty LAN tournament for charity up there at the same time. So we're trying to work around that and work with it more or less to help implement it and boost it. But everything that we do, again, you are the mission, stand on business.
Right.
Everything we do has a purpose. We're not doing it to blow smoke up anybody's ass. We're not doing it to try to make ourselves look good. We're doing it because we give a legitimate fuck about the world around us and we want to improve and change lives.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I told Pun and the one thing I told Sarah Joy was there's too many organizations out here that do a whole bunch of bluff and bluster saying, we're about mental health. Yeah, we care about vets. Yeah, we care about the children. But they don't do a fucking thing.
Right.
They'll send out a care package here and there to a vet. Cool. Where are you when he's having a mental breakdown?
Yeah.
Are you ignoring him or are you actually getting him help? Where are you when somebody's having a midlife fucking crisis? Are you somebody that he can call in the middle of the night and say, hey, can I talk to you? No? Or are you just shipping them off? Because I've had people come up to me and they're like, hey, man, I appreciate you getting me into Alpha Dogs. And I go, it's not a problem. It's what we're here for. He's like, yeah, I tried reaching out to somebody else. They just sent me to the National Suicide Hotline. That only goes so far. That only does so much.
I have always, and Rex can tell you, I've been around Rex has been around me for a long time. I started streaming like 2018. He's been there since like 2019 or something like that, 2020. He's been there for a long time.
We met around the same year you started.
Yeah. And I've always, when I built my Discord, I've always had a room. I've always had a private room for private chats. And I've always said to anybody, whether I'm streaming or not, if I'm streaming and you pop in and say, hey, I need to have a talk or I need a chat, I'm having a rough go of it, I can't get out of my head, whatever. If you come into my stream and you say some shit like that, I either got somebody that'll talk to you in that channel, or I will end my stream and talk to you in that channel, or just listen, whatever you need, whatever it takes. I've had a few people use it. I had a guy from Germany, a veteran from Germany, because apparently he said that they don't talk about it. Like the veterans over there, they don't necessarily talk to each other in that aspect. And I was like, we do here. I was like, we as my group, my community, we take a lot of importance in that. And he was in my stream, and I was just talking to him when he was chatting back and forth with me, and I was like, it's never okay to be at the point to where it's like there's a permanent answer, and then I won't have any problems anymore. I was like, that's never an option. Like that take that option away. That's never an option. If you're at that point, hit me up on Discord, hit me up on my stream. Find a way to get a hold of somebody, even if it's just a battle buddy or a friend of yours or somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who it is, just somebody to take your mind off. And we talked on my stream. I think we talked for probably a couple hours. He was there just chilling, was watching. I was terribly playing games and making fun of myself and stuff like that. He messaged me later that night and he said that I actually I talked him off a ledge. Is what he said. He said there was going to be that night or the next night or something like that. But he said just me talking to him. He said that helped.
What it's about, man. A
Yeah,
lot of
and
people
I've always been there.
take this shit for granted. And a lot of people don't understand the impact. And it's something that I try to educate streamers on. Is you are 4 things when you press that go live button. Yes, you are a streamer / content creator.
Yes.
However, there's 3 other things you are. You are an ambassador for yourself. You are a promoter for yourself and any brands or affiliations you may have. But the last thing is you are an influencer.
Yes.
That last one carries so much weight that a lot of people have no fucking idea. They just assume that, oh, well, people aren't going to listen to me. People don't, they're not going to take the things I say to heart. When you press that little live button, you have a worldwide reach, and you never know who's listening in. You never know who's listening to see what advice you may have and what might register in their brain and what they might go, you know what, that makes actual sense. Let me follow that. Let me follow that path. That's why we have so much controversy in the world, because there are people that listen to people say some off the wall shit, and then guess what? They go and fucking do it. Not everybody's listening to the right things.
Right.
And you don't see these dudes too much except outside of what? Social media.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have the power at the touch of a button to change the world. But yet we're so wrapped up in ourselves that we don't understand that the things we say can help save somebody else.
Yeah.
Even if it's in that brief moment in time. And yeah, we fight these demons every single day. The fight never stops.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you just help somebody out who may not have had that help before.
Yeah.
So now they know that they have a resource. They have someone that they can go to. They have someone that understands the pain and the sorrow and the mental anguish that they fight day in and day out, because they're fighting that same fight with them. They're in that same fucking foxhole, where before they may not have felt like that. Because, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to call the carpet what it is. There's a lot of people that gravitate to veterans. There's a lot of veterans that gravitate to other veterans because they feel like that's the only place they belong.
It's the only place they fit in. I don't even just belong. It's just the only place they fit in. Because I mean,
to a point, to a point. So when they run somewhere and they start organizing and whatnot, they feel like they're obligated to be there. It's no longer a choice. They feel like they have to be there.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to helping each other out, it's just like it is back in the active duty.
Yeah.
When somebody starts falling through the cracks, everybody's scared. Everybody doesn't know what to do, because, again, you're programmed in the military that the moment somebody starts sinking, what do? You have to focus on yourself. You can't worry about what that guy's doing.
Right.
Is it right? Absolutely fucking not. But it's what happens.
It's just what happens. It's just second nature.
And that's where you have to have those folks who are willing to break out of that mold and go, this isn't right. We have to do something about this.
It took me a long time when I got out to acknowledge that, because when I was in, because like I said, when I was in at another time where it was like it was almost frowned upon to go to sick call. You know, you didn't.
Oh, it still is.
Like it was frowned upon. Like you couldn't hack it. You said you've been free, so you can't have it.
I legit had COVID in Italy, to the point where I couldn't breathe. I was having issues breathing. I couldn't smell. I was sweating. I couldn't sleep. I was down and out. And I called the hotline. They told me stay home. I called my flight chief. He approved it. So I stayed home, and I got a message from one of my fellow staffs, and he goes, "Are you done faking being sick and you get your ass into work or what?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Use the fuck out of you." Like, I might be sick, but if I show up the next day, you better fucking run. I ain't putting up with that crap.
Yeah.
I had dudes that fucking at Shaw. I had fucking strep. They waited till I was yelling in the mic. Like, they had headsets. So the mic is literally over your mouth. And I'm over here yelling into the mic as loud as I can to the pilot, who's also got a headset on. And he told me he couldn't hear me.
Yep.
Because my voice was gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't like.
Right. You couldn't say anything.
So I went to the flight chief, and it's like, oh, so you still can't work? Like the military has not changed in that aspect. They will like two known facts. The two in the United States Air Force, the two career fields that get shit on the most is security forces and aircraft maintenance.
Yes.
That's also why they have the highest suicide rates.
Yes.
Because the backbone, one's stuck watching gates, and the other one's the backbone of the actual fucking service branch.
Right.
You know, and people in finance want to, they're like, oh, our jobs are rough. I'm like, go outside and go work a 14-hour shift and come back and talk to me. Until you've been in our shoes, you don't understand what the fuck's going on.
See, I wasn't in maintenance, but I worked directly with maintenance because, like I said, I was on the flight.
You were probably LRS, if I'm not mistaken, logistics readiness.
Yes, I was what was it? 2SOX1.
So yeah, you're probably what we call warehouse. You were responsible for new parts coming in, inventorying them, and then letting us know when we could pick them. Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. See, I don't like to shit on people, but when you're out there working a 14-hour shift in the middle of the fucking rain and it's storming and they don't give a fuck because they're working their set 8s and whatever.
Yep.
I stopped caring.
So like when you guys were working your 12 and 14-hour days, he was right there working 12 14-hour days too, because you guys ain't working on shit unless you get parts. I mean,
well, this is more or less for like finance or medical or stuff like that. It's like the age old debate is, oh well, we have it just as bad as you. No, you fucking don't.
Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all was working in them air conditioned buildings when we had to work in a fucking. I had to work in a B-50, like a fucking B-52 hangar with no air conditioning. Middle of the fucking summer, this shit's hot as fuck. You see us walking around out there with our shirts off.
In Kunsan Air Base, I worked a month and a half straight, 12 to 14-hour shifts, 7 days a week, no days off. Because, again, the group commander thought all airmen were fucking stupid and couldn't fix aircraft.
Jesus.
A month and a half straight.
Oh, yeah.
We worked the 3 days to get aircraft up and ready to go for this fucking TDY. They went, and then we had to spend the rest of the time fixing the rest of the fucking fleet. Yeah, it was a fucking straight shit show. On top of the regular exercises.
Oh, exercises were super fun. I love those.
Like it was just straight fucking chaos. And again, it affects your fucking. It affects your fucking
one
mental.
time, and I had just gotten done with a 12-hour shift, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna start exercising on this day, whatever." And had to draw. We drew straws because we were a small group that worked in the warehouse. So we just drew straws of who'd work what days. Of course, I drew the short straw, just got off a 12-hour shift, turned around and pulled the 12-hour shift right after that. So a 24-hour shift, I was fucking tired as shit at the end of that one, putting fucking shit together.
Yeah, the Air Force is like, everybody's like, oh, the Air Force is a superior branch. I'm like, no, it's just like all the other branches. Yeah. It's legitimately just like all the other branches. If you get a finance job or you get a medical job or something like that, yeah, you might have a decent career. You might not have to go through half the shit that we go through. Mm-hmm. But if you're maintenance or you're security forces, no, it is not the fucking life.
All right, let's see here. So we are gonna go ahead and finish this up. Is there anything else you'd like to add or any questions that you have for me or Rex?
I mean, you guys asked me to come be on the show, and I'm humbled and thankful for the opportunity. Like I said, I love doing these sorts of things where I'm just able to kind of cut loose and speak from the heart and just, give an inside look. Because not a lot of people know a lot about my military career. They know I was a crew chief. I turned wrenches, this, that, and the other. Right. But a lot of people don't understand the backstory of why I am the way I am, why I see things in a more realistic point of view, along with some other stuff. So I thank you too for putting up with my bullshit and let me
just puts up my bullshit all the time. So it's all right.
and just letting me talk. It's one of those things where I don't get the opportunity to do that too often.
Man, you're good. Like I prefer when like we haven't had a whole lot of Air Force guests on. So I kind of like we have Air Force guests on. Better. A bunch of fucking Army people on here and fucking Marines and shit like that. But we rarely have Air Force guys on. So it makes me feel better.
like I said, man, at the end of the day, we're all brothers and sisters. We all signed up to do a job, and
Oh yeah.
most of us paid the price in more ways than one.
My
You
mic's
know.
kind of mixer's being weird, but okay. I like they've had more Air Force than we have Marines.
Have we had more Air Force than we have had Marines?
Yeah, we've had more Air Force.
That's right. They're probably too busy eating crayons anyway.
I that you might be doing yourself a favor on that one.
you haven't met Rogue Marines yet.
Right now there's. I will tell you this as politely as I can. Right now, there's one particular Marine or somebody that claims to be a Marine that doesn't act like a Marine. That if I could, I would send him through a whole nother fucking boot camp and make him remember his fucking morals. So, because that was when I first joined, I had two options that I was seriously debating. One was the United States Air Force because of my dad, and the other one was the United States Marines because I had a shitload of respect for the Marines.
Right.
Needless to say, my respect for the Marine Corps has gone down quite considerably. Because of the actions of a few individuals that have shown me that, you know how they say Marines stick to their oaths?
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed me they don't.
Some do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Some. I am a
the
very
ones
firm.
That I know, the ones that I'm friends with do.
I'm a very firm believer in practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And when I have to answer to CEOs and fellow former military as to why a Marine is acting unbecoming of a Marine, that's a problem.
Yes, that's actually a severe problem because they're supposed to be more disciplined than that.
You would think.
I'm
attributing it to a lack of maturity at this point. But that's what I've been having to do for the last couple of months, and I'm getting quite tired of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, I'll take Army people over Marines, and at least with them, you just hand them a compass and then you know where to go for the podcast.
Unless they're a lieutenant.
I mean, who wants a butter bar on the podcast?
The bad thing is, I got a feeling I know which. The bad thing is, I got a feeling I know what you're talking about. I have issues with
So you said we're rating into who? Demon something?
Demon fighters. Yeah.
All right.
So you guys are live on Twitch, right?
You are.
I'm on
because I followed the Kick channel. I thought you guys were going to go live on the Kick channel.
We used to do.
We're on Twitch, yeah.
We used to do cross streaming, but then the shit broke, and now we just don't do it.
Yeah.
Now we're only Twitch for now.
Well, real quick before y'all host out for my chat, because they've been listening in on this whole time. Tell us where they can find the podcast. Tell us where you can find you guys, respectively, individually, and the show, because we love showing some love to all these guys.
What is your Twitch channel?
Let me talk.
So I am. I would say because for me, my Twitch channel is the same as my Kick channel.
My mic working right now.
It's kind of cutting it out.
So
okay,
it's ToriProductions.
Yeah. So if you go to my Twitch channel, it's going to tell you to go to Kick because it's the same name on Kick.
Are you on Kick or Twitch?
I'm on Kick right now. I moved from Twitch because for a full year, I was reporting hate bots from people telling me to go kill myself because I was a veteran. I got tired of that because it was affecting my mental. So I came over to Kick, and it's been, for the most part, nice and peaceful over here.
I have not been on Kick in forever.
So we are actually live on Kick at the moment. Chat, do y'all have any questions for these gentlemen?
Well, you can find Asylum Arms on Twitch with Asylum Arms, and we're also on offline. We're on every podcast platform. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. The list goes on and on. And then you can find me.
I saw a bunch of icons. And I was like, "What is that icon? I haven't seen that one before." But then again, my technology self is like.
And then you can find me on Twitch at Delusive Rex. I do some gaming streams when I have the time.
Did I get in? I did.
And
So
I
that
used to
is-
stream on Twitch on Kick, but I couldn't, like, the growth wasn't there for me.
So that's twitch.tv, Asylum Arms, twitch.tv, Delusive Rex. Also, just so you guys know, Alpha Dogs does stream on Twitch and on Kick, Alpha Dogs GG,
Oh, there
for
we go.
both of you. If you're interested in checking them out, we do have, I will tell you, for the stream team, I'm very proud of the individuals that we have on our stream team that we've had come on board, because I've been a part of onboarding them. And they take mental health very, very seriously. Very seriously.
So mine is
they-
just twitch.tv/Katarian.
All right. And
I did just throw you a follow.
I see it. Thank you, sir. I got you all shout outs there. So
say we're pretty big on
Asylum Arms, Delusive Rex, Katarian.
we're pretty big on mental health. Also, I'm partnered with a nonprofit called Project Refit, which they're all about suicide awareness and veteran mental health.
So I'm going to let this cat out of the bag real quick. You're all going to be the first ones to hear it. We are going to be talking to Stack Up. I know you two are aware of Stack Up, right? Because I'm pretty
We've
sure I
had to
saw
see
y'all
on
partner.
Podcast.
Okay.
We've had Steve.
Well, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good friends with Steve. He is one of the CEOs I've had to talk to. And one of the things Alpha Dogs is looking to do is partnering with Stack Up to get that mental health reach out. So, like I said, we're all about standing on business and trying to do the most we can to be able to spread mental health awareness, to educate people, and to be there for people. And Steve is, we were more than happy to help Steve out in the last mental health charity drive that we did. That's why we've been running it all month. So we're going to be reaching out to Steve to see what we can do to help be an official partner with them as well.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Heard it here first. That talk is coming. And
Steve's a great
that's
guy.
what I've been
I
a very big
fucking
advocate
love
for.
Podcast.
So I was gonna say, because I've been looking for a long time. Me personally, I've been looking for a long time for a way to, I don't know, contribute more, help more with mental health for veterans. So if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, because I'm laid off now, dude. I had nothing but fucking time right now. Like I'm like I need to fucking do for real.
The first thing I would do is go. You said you joined the Alpha Dogs Discord.
Yes.
Start interacting in there. Start getting the vibes of what's going on in there, because we've had a lot of people when we were onboarding Twitch and Kick streamers, and we were starting up the stream teams. We had a lot of people join the Discord that were there basically just to make a quick fame.
Right.
That we're not serious about the mission.
Right.
And when I tell you we're serious, like I'm serious as a heart attack. Like I do a very stringent onboarding process. We have social media ambassadors that promote events, that promote mental health sessions and stuff like that check in with people when we see they're having a bad day. That basically are there. Like if you're surfing on Twitter, if you're surfing on Instagram, whatever, you see somebody, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm having, I'm at my wit's end. We have social media ambassadors that go out there and go, hey, what can we do for you? What's going on? Are you willing to talk to us? We have those guys. We have Discord ambassadors who do the exact same thing, but a Discord. We have game leads who they just organize game nights. They get everybody together. They're like, hey, we're going to play this game at this time on this day, get it scheduled in the books, bring everybody together and just have a good, down, wholesome day playing with friends, talking mental health, being there for people, letting people just speak up about what's going on, and having that brotherhood / sisterhood that we're able to do. Now, right. I know you. I'm not oblivious to the word that you mentioned, which was veterans, right? We have veterans within the community, and as I told Pun, and I made it perfectly clear, and without spilling too much tea here, a storm is brewing, and it would not surprise me if more veterans started looking into Alpha Dogs.
Right.
And I want us to be prepared to handle those veterans and give them the treatment and give them the support that they desperately need. Not just be a number in the crowd like they have been, but be able to sit down and be like, hey, I see you have this problem. I've had this problem myself. This is how I combated it, which is why
Right.
we're looking into that research to be able to have those classes, reach out to those professionals, have those classes, get taught. Hey, this is what you could do in this situation. Get those certifications. Start teaching others to get those certifications.
Mm.
And then, if push comes to shove and it's out of our hands at that point, then we can literally walk them to a professional and go, hey, this is what's going on. I want to make sure he's left in good hands.
Right.
You don't see a whole lot of organizations taking the time and effort to actually do that. And that's
Right, and I
what we're
haven't
trying
found
to
any.
promote more of. Exactly. Okay.
I mean,
So
yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
and
I'm confirming what you're saying. Like, I haven't found any. When I finally realized, and this is a 100% true. When I finally realized that there was something wrong with my brain, like there was something wrong with it, was I made a joke about something, which I thought was hysterical. The person I made the joke to looked at me and says, "That's fucked up. That's not funny." I was like, "Oh, maybe it's not funny. What's wrong with me?" And that's when I just like I looked inward. I was like, maybe something's wrong. And then I went to, obviously I went to the VA, tried to get help, stuff like that. Of course, that was just fucking Christ. It was like 6 months out where I got my first appointment. Just appointment to get my appointment to get an appointment to get seen. Is what it was. And when I finally got seen by somebody with you, because you get your B hip team and stuff like that. When I finally got them, the first question, they were like, "Oh, hey, it's nice to meet you. We got through all the pleasantries and shit like that." And I was like, well, "Okay, I got a question. I got a real question before we do anything else. I got a real question." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" I was like, "What would have happened if in between the 6 months that I said I need help, I need mental health help, and now if I decided to just take that permanent answer, what would you guys have done?" And they all just kind of like stared at me, like I had three heads. And I was like, "That's what I figured," because there's no recourse.
there's not.
They just schedule you 6 months out, and then you just wait and hope that you're mentally capable to wait it out 6 months, 8 months.
And that's the thing that we're trying to do at Alpha Dogs is we're trying to avoid that. We want
Yeah,
everybody to be able to come in, and if something is bothering you, just come out with it. We don't want you bottling it up. We don't want you,
right.
having this problem to where you're not sure if you can come out with it. Um, we want that open dialogue because we want people to understand that we're there for them in their corner. We
Right.
can't fix everything, and if there is something that we can fix, like if it's a money issue, like say you're active duty, you just had a loved one pass away, you don't know where to get finances from. Ooh, we're partnered with Rally, and I'm partnership manager for Rally. We're partnered with Rally. I can get you in contact with the CEO of Rally. We can get you a grant, see what we need to do for that, and get you helped out, get you squared away. So that's not an issue. And then we can continue working on your mental health.
Right.
That's part of the things that Rally does, is we try to help people as much as we can considering situations. That's why we're going to try to partner with Stack Up, because Stack Up can also help out in situations of that effect where if it's affecting your mental health to the point where you're debating on taking that choice. We don't want that.
Right.
Because all we want is to make the world better. We want the world to change.
Yeah. I mean, even something as simple as just being a go between making that appointment to get the appointment to get seen,
exactly,
and to have somebody there that gives a shit about what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us
Because
have already been through that, or been through it, or are going through it every single day.
And the thing is when you get to a certain point, and the one thing that one of the lessons that I learned in the previous organization I was in before I joined AD and Rally was there are certain points and times where you come to a crossroads as an organization where you start getting too big for your britches and your ego inflates your head, or you stay humble and you get overexerted trying to handle every single little problem.
Right.
And the problem with that particular organization is their ego got the better of them, and they stopped caring as much. And it was just like, you can't do that, especially with an important topic like mental health. So, and I had DMs upon DMs upon DMs of people telling me, hey man, I'm leaving. I can't do this because, I have this issue. I tried to address this issue, try to look for help, and I was either ignored, denied, or made to feel unwanted. And you should never ever be made to feel unwanted over problems that you need a brother for or a sister for. So that's what we're trying to address in Alpha Dogs, is to let anybody, because we are predominantly focused on men, right?
Right.
But women are just as welcome as the men are. Women are just as welcome as the men. And we want people to be able to come in and share those problems, share that camaraderie, and know that, hey, unlike other areas, your concerns are validated here, and we are here to help you out as much as we can.
Right.
So there's nobody's name on Twitch. I just looked. Did I spell y'all stuff right? Delusive Rex, no underscore altogether.
I'll get you a link here. Did you type in their names, Toth, or did you just try to? You said so. Jill says I was able to find them with the links. Okay, so Jill found them. Toth didn't. All right. I sent you a link for mine.
Well, so if you want, I can just send you my tree.
I'd be careful. I'd be careful with the link tree. I have a personal vendetta against link trees, just because when I was onboarding streamers, a couple of them had some very unsavory things on their link trees.
Oh, I do not. But
I'm like, let's not do that. just I typed in the names. Okay, yeah. Type in twitch.tv / and then see if that pops up. Because if you're typing in the names, sometimes with Twitch search, if you're not typed in correctly, like with capital letters and whatnot,
because the Asylum Arms, they're both A's are capitalized. Asylum Arms.
Yeah, it's fucking weird like that.
I thought about trying to kick again.
Google is smarter than Twitch in that regard.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I like Kick, but Kick has a lot of maturing and growing up to do. There's a lot of things wrong with the platform that people are blind to, and that certain staff members don't want to address. They just want to keep putting it on the back burner, and they're going to lose people if they don't address it. But Kick has been home to me. The camaraderie and community here on Kick has been second to none for the most part. I've met a lot of good streamers from Kick side. I've met a lot of good friends from Kick side that I have not met on Twitch, because Twitch, for some reason, they do their own little thing, and then they come together for TwitchCon, and then they separate again, and they're never to be seen. On Kick, it's like people are constantly coming into your stream. They're they're talking to you, bullshitting with you. You go to a convention, you see each other. It's like one big happy fucking family. You're able to talk, hang out, have drinks. You go back home. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to see them again, because guess what? They're probably going to be in your chat the next time you fire up.
Right.
And it just builds that relationship so much more. And that's one of the plus sides that I'm grateful for.
I wish I
don't get me wrong. The 95-5 split's great and all, but I don't expect to get paid.
I wish I could afford to go to the cons and stuff like that. I can't afford that shit. I got too many kids.
Affirm is your friend. If you ever decide to travel, at least for hotels, if you have great credit and you want to fly or you want to go on a cruise or something, Uplift is your friend. But if you are traveling and you're just looking to get hotels and whatnot, Affirm is your friend. You can if you have decent credit, you can make an Affirm plan, and instead of paying the full amount at one time, you can make payment plans, and you can just do like 40, like depending on what you're trying to do, you can do $46 a month. Like, it'll give you a whole thing that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for. That's how I've been able to attend all these cons.
Yeah, I just got too many fucking kids. Too many people in my house.
I've got 2 kids here myself, and
yeah, I go for Uplift for my stuff.
Uplift doesn't like me. Affirm likes me. So I'm grateful to Affirm for that. Uplift, for whatever reason, is like, yeah, no, fuck you.
Oh.
So, but
Probably helped on my credit scores.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 'Cause I don't have the greatest credit, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't think of really anything else. Like I said, if you want to help out, hop in the chat, talk to the people in the Alpha Discord. I got to talk to Pun and see what exactly we're looking for, because we put a pause on some positions because we've had a little bit of shuffling within the organization, and there's more shuffling to do. But I know we were looking for kick streamers at one point, specifically kick streamers, because we capped out at 10 Twitch streamers. So we're looking for more kick streamers. I know we're looking for more game leads. I believe we were looking for more ambassadors as well. So I know I've been asked to restructure the I don't want to call it a contract, but the application. So once that's restructured, they may open it up to everything again. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, I'm very picky when it comes to who I work with, regardless if it's companies or organizations.
Right.
And I'm very grateful that Alpha and Rally have put their nose to the grindstone and said, yeah, no, we're behind you 110%. We're going to keep doing this.
Nice.
So, and I'm very proud to be fucking associated with them.
Yeah, I just went to my kick page. I have a grand total of 59 followers.
Before we raid out Tori, is there anyone that you would like to see on the podcast in the future?
Have y'all talked to Dominator yet?
We have not.
I don't think so.
Reach out to Dominator and tell him Tori sent you.
Oh, dude.
Right up. He is a mental health advocate on the Army side. And he's somebody I have a lot of respect for. He is definitely worth a conversation, because I want to say he's still active duty Army.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, and he's an MHA. So
we interview active duty, first responders, military veterans, and also we just recently started opening up medical field.
Yeah, Dominator Gaming would be a very good conversation to have.
All right. Once again, Tori, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Even though my mixer's been fucking weird right now.
Don't you have the big Go XLR?
I do. I'm working on getting it. I have a studio mixer coming in though, so we'll be upgrading the studio.
I got to get me. So DreamHack Dallas will be the first time I'll be in full Viking cosplay with the war paint and everything. So one of the things I want to get is a green screen to put behind me to actually have like an immersive like Viking setup, more or less. And I've got that on my Amazon wish list along with the Go XLR. But in order to use the Go XLR, I got to get rid of this mic because it doesn't have a Go XLR plugin. So that money I ain't got.
If you want any suggestions, I would recommend the AT2020. It's a cheap XLR mic. I used it for a long time until I went with the Blue Spark. My kid actually uses my AT2020 now.
I don't ask me. I have an expensive dynamic mic, so don't ask me.
It's like a $100 microphone. It comes with the pop filter and the mount and everything like that.
And mine's like a 600.
I used that for a long time and get you like a $20 fucking XLR cable. Yeah. And if you want a green screen, you know what I did for a green screen for a long time? I went to Walmart and bought some fucking green fabric and stapled that bitch to the wall.
I can see that. I can imagine that.
Bro,
unfortunately, my two little ones would see that and think it's a play toy and just rip it right off and be like.
I've seen people use the fabric and then use PVC pipes to build it, and so they can break it down and fold and put it away.
Smart. That's actually
Rogue Marines has a clothing line in his room that goes from one end to the other, and he just hung that fabric from there, and so he uses it as a curtain. Cost him like $20.
It's pretty smart too.
Yeah,
I could probably get away with that.
If you want to save some money, I mean, that's a way to save some money.
Yeah, I'd have to figure out how I'd fucking partition it, but yeah, I could probably do that.